Coming up on Big Ten today, it felt like a Final Four game when Duke played Michigan over the weekend. Well, to us fans it did. What did it feel like to Dusty May? I'll ask him as he joins the show. It was a wild weekend in the Big Ten, so Rafael Davis is here to explain it all to us in a smart yet understandable way. He's good like that. And we'll go around the Big Ten checking in on women's hoops regular season crown being won, the Michigan swimmers winning a title, and the latest with Gavin McKenna. Busy show, let's go. Hi there from Chicago. We are thrilled to have you with us for the next hour. This is Big Ten Today. I'm Mike Hall. This is Rafael Davis. You thought you were done with me 12 hours ago.
I did.
You were wrong, sir.
I'm glad to be with you again.
We did the big show last night. We got Big Ten Today. There's actually a lot of stuff in this show that we did not cover in yesterday's show. So let's dive right into it with the big story from the weekend that was across Big Ten men's basketball. Saturday, #1 Michigan played #3 Duke. Blue Devils got the win by 5 points. Michigan couldn't stop the star, Cameron Boozer. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Perhaps most surprising was the rebounding battle, which the Wolverines lost by 13. It's been such a strength of theirs all season. Only the second loss on the year for Michigan. The other came by 3 points to Wisconsin earlier on in the season. And I think that's where I'd want to start off. First off, their rebounding average all season had been like almost 10 rebounds per game they were up. So for them to be down 13, that's your first red flag.
Oh, 100%. You look at Michigan this season, that's been their superpower. Rebounding the basketball, dominate you on the offensive glass. But it was flipped against Duke, and I think it was their first time this season not only facing a team with their size, but facing a team with their level of athleticism. Michigan, when that shot goes up, they're so big and strong compared to the rest of the Big Ten. They're used to going to grab the basketball and just outletting it and going. But against Duke, just as big, just as strong, just as athletic. When that shot goes up, you had to go find somebody to hit if you're Michigan. And down the stretch of that game, they just were not able to secure such important defensive rebounds. I mean, the game was on the line. They were down by just 3 points. Shot goes up. You got to get the off defensive rebound. Duke secures it. They go on to score 3. That's the ball game. When the shot goes up, that's when the game starts. That's when the fight starts. I understand. You go 6 for 25 from 3. Duke goes 6 for 19 from 3. The game was won on the glass. Duke just happened to be the more tougher team.
Okay, so if you're Dusty May, you're going, we faced a team that was just as tall and just as strong as us. They might face a team like that again in the NCAA tournament. So what can they do from now till then so that they're better prepared for such opponents?
The half-court offense has to be better. You look in that first half especially, it was a lot of guys just standing around and just watching it. Then it turned into my turn basketball. It turned into the one-on-one show, guys taking ill-advised bad shots. And I know you look at some of those threes and you say, well, Michigan, they were wide open. They should be taking those. But something I learned from a great coach and Coach Matt Painter, I was a sophomore. We're playing at Wisconsin. I'm wide open for a deep three. I take it. I miss it. Coach pulls me aside. He says, you were open for a reason. And you look at some of those shots Michigan took in that first half, they were open for a reason. They just fell into that trap of taking some bad ones. They've got to develop an other option in the half court. It can't just be throw the ball in the post to a Daimara and let him create. Those other guards have to create off the ball. Move better, screen better, cut better. The movement has to be better in the half court when you think about going forward.
Now, later this week, Michigan plays Illinois. Illinois is the tallest team in the country. Is Brad Underwood watching that Duke game and saying, we can do 2 or 3 of the things that Duke did against Michigan?
No, because Andrei Stojakovic isn't the same athlete as Isaiah Evans, and that's the difference. Illinois is just as big as Michigan, but Illinois' athleticism, it does not match up with Michigan's. They don't have a guy like a Cam Boozer to run around in that mid-post area or to dominate you on the glass. I get David Markovic is a problem, but his athleticism is not the same. And I get big Tomislav Ivicic, the big twin down low, problems at the rim blocking shots, but the athleticism is the difference in that one. When you look about Michigan, when you play Illinois on the road, you just got to hit those guys, keep them out of the lane, and that's another big difference. Illinois, they're big guys. They don't like to be hit much, and that's a big difference from Duke.
Talk more about that later. Before we leave this topic, though, what do you think about a non-conference game in the middle of February, in the middle of Big Ten play? We're starting to see some more of them pop up. You like it overall?
I liked it at first, but then I went back and I thought about it. Maybe I don't like it because on the other side, for Michigan, yeah, you like it. They get some film. They get to watch themselves. They get to understand we have to be better. You think how they've been playing this season, dominating teams. Some of their practices this season may have been harder than some of their games. So maybe they're not learning much about themselves. So you lose this game, you go back to the drawing board. But on the flip side, you give Duke a level of confidence that they may not have had coming into this game. And now you give Duke the upper edge on you. So you face Duke again in the NCAA tournament. They understand. They've already beat you. They have that confidence. They know how to beat you. So I'm one of those guys. I go back and forth just depending on how you look at it.
Unless it gives you a chip on your shoulder.
Exactly.
And you're Michigan and use it as motivation.
Exactly.
You could think of it that way. Well, we'll ask Dusty May what he thinks about scheduling that type of game. He's going to join us in about 10 minutes from now here on the show. As we turn our attention to the reveal that happened this weekend, the top 16 teams, if the tournament were to start right now, Michigan would have been the #1 overall seed. Illinois would have been a 2 along with the Boilermakers. The Huskers would be a 3 seed, and Michigan State squeaks in there as a 4 seed. Excuse me. With that in mind, there was only one game on the league on Friday. It was a bounce-back one for those Boilermakers. They beat up on rival Indiana, winning by 29 points. Remember, IU took them down in Bloomington earlier. Braden Smith had 15 points, 8 assists. Trey Kaufman-Renn had 20. The team at 10 three-pointers, 56% from deep, 65% from the floor overall. They gave up only 15 rebounds total. That was a vintage bounce-back performance for Matt Painter's club.
I felt so good watching that game. Outside of it being a rivalry and you being your rival, I understand that. But you look at how Purdue played, this is how it should have looked. This is what the Boilermakers were supposed to look like coming into this season. This is the national champion favorite that we thought they could be. The defense was phenomenal. Those guys were guarding their yard. They kept the ball out of the paint. And when the shot went up, they dominated that glass. You look at Purdue, Trey Kaufman-Renn, Oscar Clough. They should be killing dudes on the glass, so I'm glad they brought their physicality and their toughness in this one. Braden Smith was sensational from the very get-go of the game. Brought the fight right to Connor Enright, getting right downhill to the basket, knocking down shots. Fletcher Lawyer playing like a senior, 18 big points. And then one of my young guys off the bench, Omer Meyer, came in, gave him 18. This offensive flow was beautiful, but it was started by their defense. Purdue's got to play through their defense. Their defense has to lead to good offense, and this is what you're going to get. But I love that toughness, that fight, that leadership that the Boilermakers played early, often throughout the game.
Where is Purdue right now? You think of the last 5 or 6 weeks. They've won 5 of 6, and that only loss they had was to Michigan, as we talked about, #1 seed according to the selection committee. But before then, they went through a stretch where they lost 3 in a row, including that game to Indiana. Right now, as we're about to end the month of February, big picture, where are they?
I still think they're a team that could get to a Final Four because now they got their toughness back. You look at that game against Oregon, they struggled in that toughness department. They go to Nebraska, they dominate them on the glass. You go to Iowa, you dominate the glass. Michigan is a different story. Michigan's one of the better teams in the country, one of the toughest teams in the country. So you lose that game at home, but to bounce back and beat a good bubble team in Indiana, about 30 on your home court, that's a team that I love to see. When Purdue plays with that toughness, with that level of determination on the defensive end, they could beat anyone in the country. Braden Smith stepped up, Fletcher Lawyer stepped up, Trey Kaufman-Renn stepped up. When those 3 players are at their best, when they play good ball and they get a little bit of help from the other guys, this Purdue team could still win a national championship down in Indy in April. I've not given up on those guys. They are figuring it out right at the right time. It's not about being perfect in November, December, January. It's about finding the right stride at the right time, ending February and going into March on a bang, and that's what Purdue is doing right now.
You know what I think is there's a really interesting storyline with Purdue over these final 2 weeks. The fight to be a top 4 Big Ten tournament seed, right? This year's the first time they're going to games happening on Tuesday, so it would be a triple bye, what used to be a double bye. But if you're this top 4, you don't play until Friday. Purdue's fighting for it. Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Michigan State, Nebraska. Multiple teams that are good enough to not play until Friday are going to have to play on Thursday.
Yeah, and they're going to have to figure out a way to be able to get to Friday. But I'm a guy also, Mike, I don't really worry about the buys as much because if I was a player, I'd rather play on that game on Thursday than go to practice on Thursday. Because sometimes you go on that game, it's only 40 minutes. You maybe play 20 minutes in the game, 25 minutes. If you're a great player, you're playing 30 minutes. compared to going to a 2.5, 3-hour practice. If one thing goes wrong at the beginning, you're running suicides for no reason. So I'm always a guy. I want to play more games rather than practice. It doesn't matter when you think about those top 16s. Any of those guys can play on that Thursday and make it all the way to Sunday.
Well, to that point, a big one coming up on Thursday. They play Michigan State
Yep.
in East Lansing, a game that both teams would want if you wanted to not play a game on Thursday, which we found out some people do want to. UCLA will have to be playing. However, they've certainly got some momentum. A big surprise Saturday late night out in Los Angeles. The Bruins beat top 10 ranked Illinois in OT. Mizzou fans had creepy flashbacks to Tyus Edney as Donovan Dent had 4.9 seconds left, inbounded the ball, and strolled all the way to lay in the game winner, beating the buzzer. Around 30 years or so since Edney did that to Missouri in the tournament. So let's start with that. Kudos to him, right? He did exactly what he was supposed to. But what happened to Illinois? I mean, I never played at a high level, but I've always been told my whole life, stop ball.
Stop the ball.
Somebody's got to stop ball.
And you get Donovan Dent going on a straight line, going full speed. If I'm Illinois, just run in front of him. All you have to do is run in front of him, cut him off, and just make him turn another direction. It's not about sliding your feet, keeping him in front. Just cut him off and make him switch directions. But I thought, even outside of Donovan Dent handling the pressure, Tyler Bilodeau set a big-time screen to free him up around the half court. And then what he did in the lane, it was impressive. I mean, he went up around the Big Ten logo, act like he was going to shoot a floater just to get Tomislav or Big Z to jump. And then he goes under his arm to lay it up. Just a big-time finish. Donovan Dent played like the Donovan Dent that we thought he could be coming into this season. I mean, 14 points, 15 assists, 0 turnovers, and that's against one of the better point guard defenders in the country in Kylan Boswell. I mean, it was special. I was so happy to be a Bruin fan watching this UCLA game because this is what it was supposed to look like. I understand Mick Cronin, he loves his defense. He wants to be tough. He wants to be gritty. But you don't have Kobe Johnson. You don't have Dylan Andrews and Sebastian Mack. You have offensive guys this season. Donovan Dent is one of the better offensive point guards in the country. And I've been watching Trent Perry a long time since he was a sophomore in high school. That kid can score the basketball. So you look at UCLA, the offensive attack they can bring. When they play in transition, when they spread you out, they get out in space. They are tough to stop. And that two-man game between Donovan Dent, between Tyler Bilodeau, when he's making shots, that is a unbelievable action to run on one side of the floor. And then the other side, you got Eric Daly knocking down jumpers. This team was big time. I still think this UCLA team, they click at the right time with this level of offense. They can make a really deep run in the March. I would not be surprised if they got all the way to Elite Eight.
You know what's really interesting? Big picture. During the week, Mick Cronin was making headlines for all the wrong reasons.
Yep.
In fact, he addressed the media at the end of the week and apologized and said he doesn't want to be someone who's embarrassing the university. Then he beats a top 10 team in a huge comeback. What a flip of events.
Just save the season. Save the season in that big-time win. But I also look at the players because Mick Cronin, yes, that's the coach. He has to go talk to the media. He has to be the face of the program. But you got to think about that locker room. That locker room banded together. I mean, you think about Donovan Dent, Eric Daly, even Xavier Booker, his performance off the bench. They believed in each other. It's almost as though they went in that locker room and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play hard for each other. And they went out there and they did it because it would have been so easy for those guys like they did. They got down 20. They could have quit. They quit at Michigan. They quit at Michigan State. But they were able to come back in this one and get a big-time win.
And for Illinois, that locker room is going to be going. We were up 23.
Exactly.
23 to UCLA, and we lost that lead and then lost the game. Granted, in overtime, but still, a loss is a loss. All right.